Okay, so you got fired. Now what? Okay, guys, so what I want to talk about in this particular video is, sometimes I get emails or somebody in the coaching or whatever the case is. They say, "Hey, Fabio, I got fired. I'm distraught." And I say, "For what?" They say, "I don't know." That's not really the answer you want to give me, because I'm going to then tell you to figure out why you got fired. And I think everybody should do this. A lot of times when you get fired or you separate from a client, a lot of us don't know why we got fired. I'm gonna give you a story that happened to me about 3 weeks ago. I really don't like to talk about failures, as you guys see, but I'm gonna give you a situation that happened to me. So I'm, you know, doing my day. I'm actually out shopping, just doing me, and I get a call from one of the supervisors. And the supervisor was made aware by the employee that they wanted us to gather our things and they wanted us to leave. They wanted us out the building. We was fired. So I asked the supervisor, because I mean, again, and this is where systems, this is where training come in place. I asked the supervisor, I say, "Well, what happened? What?" So he explained to me what went on and what happened. So I called the client. I called the client and I let the client know that I was made aware that you guys wanted to do away with service with us. Here's the deal. I asked them, I say, "Would you guys have a minute where I could speak to you for a few minutes or so, just so we could talk about what transpired, what happened? Would that be okay if I stopped by?" They said, "Yeah, stop by. Are you trying to come today or whatever?" So I said, "Yeah, if you get me within the hour, I can get there within the hour." So I got there, right, to this particular client. Here's the deal, guys, and this is why I say you need to check on your clients quarterly. It's 4 quarters in a year. If you check on your client at least once a quarter, you don't want to do it too much, because you don't want to seem like you don't have anything going and all you have time to do is just check on clients. And then, like I said, if you check too much, they'll get to making up things and things that don't exist, things that's not even there, and now you're getting fired for something that is not even there. It doesn't exist. They get to making up things, right? So here's the deal. So I go to the client. I had an appointment within the hour. I get to the client and we discuss the matter. We discuss what was going on. I won't talk about the specifics, but the deal is I was able to keep that contract, and we still have that contract today. And this was like 3 weeks ago. So again, sometimes you have to, and I know the scary part is you don't want to deal with the client, but you have to think about it. They people just like you. They absolutely, they're people just like you, right? They shed the same type of blood, right? You have to be proactive when it comes to your business. Just because you received the email that said you were fired, don't just say, "Oh, I'm fired and I'm out of there. I'm gonna just go and collect my things and I'm out of there." Even if they don't accept you back, I was fortunate enough to be able to keep the contract, but even if they don't accept you back, at least you have a little intel on why you was fired. Okay, you never want to really exit a spot or exit a site without knowing why. Okay, if you can help it. Now, if they just don't want to talk to you, they don't want to share nothing else, they just want you to get your stuff and you're out of there, get your stuff and you're out of there. Okay, but again, guys, you got fired, but you don't know why. You have to ask. Okay, you have to ask, because just like I was able to do, you're able to maybe save that client. Maybe why you got fired wasn't so bad after all. But you have to be the one to just say, "You know what? I'm gonna keep this client. I'm me. I know that we can make this work," and you make it work. Okay? You have to absolutely have to make it work. Okay? But again, be proactive, take the initiative, and realize that the reason that you got fired, or the reason that they told you that they fired you, might not necessarily be the reason, right? It might be some underlying things, some other things that's going on. Now, sometimes they fire because they cutting back on pay. If you look at the contract and you say, "Okay, I got this contract here. They're cashing out right now X, Y, and Z. I could come down about 10%. Or whatever. I can bring it down 5% off of this," right? So you're looking at you're looking at your contract. You say, "You know what? I could come down about $150, $100, depending on what you're paying." Then do that if you can absolutely come down. If it's not going to hurt the bottom line, But again, guys, you got to be very, very proactive. Again, I don't talk a lot about failures, but that was just one story that I wanted to give you. It was actually still a win, right? Because I was able to keep it. But it could have been a failure if I just would have collect my things. When my supervisor called me and let me know what was going on, if I just said, yeah, just go get our stuff, we're done with them, we wouldn't have had the client. So again, guys, check on your clients at least once a quarter. It's 4 quarters in a year. I don't care where you got contracts in. I don't care if it's on the other side of the city, if you have it in a neighboring city, in your state, neighboring your state. I don't care where the contract is. Pick up the phone, right? Call them. If you say, I can't drive over there, it's kind of too far, I don't want to drive. I think the drive is worth it, right? When you think it's worth it, if it hurts your bottom line, if you lose it, I think it'll be worth the drive, right? So again, sometimes make those phone calls. If you haven't spoken to your clients, you're watching this video, you say, you know what he's saying makes sense. I haven't spoken to this client. You want to check up, just send an email if you have to, right? Send an email, pick up the phones, call, stop in and say, I always do that, right? If I'm in, not all the time, but I'll stop in if I'm close to the area. I haven't really been in the building in a long time. I'll say, oh, that's my contract. That feels good to ride down the street and know that they pay you. That feels good. But you ride down the street, you say, you know what, that's our contract. I go in and I'll say, hi, such and such, Miss Smith, hi, Mr. Johnson, whatever the case is. How's everything? I do a quick tour. I just want to take a look to see where we're at with it. That's how I am. But you guys probably get that from my aura. The aura, I'm very friendly like. I guess I could be charismatic. I've been told that. Charismatic. I go in and I say, hi Sherry, how are you? They say, hi Mr. Hart, hi Fabio, and hi Doug, how are you? Right? I'm in the building, right? And I'm just looking. I'm going around to see where we're at with it. I'm making sure everything is in the right space, in the right area. If I see something out of the whack, I go ahead, literally myself, and they see me cleaning this stuff up, and I'm trying to get it together. Why? Because I want them to know that I care as much about them as I care about them sending a check in, right? Or we billing them on a monthly basis. I want them to know that I care about the space in which they work in, right? Same thing with homes. I've done that where we go and knock on the door and I say, hey, Mr. White, how are you? Or, hey, Josh, hey, Elizabeth, how are you? I just wanted to stop by. I know we currently clean. I just wanted to check on you, make sure everything is good. Have any complaints about anything, or if there's anything we need to brush up. And don't be afraid to say that with any client, okay? If they got some complaints, you would rather them tell you so you can relay that over to your supervisor, so the supervisors can relate that to the employees. Or if you don't have a supervisor, so you can relate that to your employees and get everything squared away before things get out of control. Because we know what happened when they get out of control. They want to fire you. And by that time, it's already too late. They probably got several different proposals. Don't think just because you're in the building, by the way, guys, they're not getting any proposals. They're not getting any business cards. They're not collecting intel on other companies and seeing what they offer and seeing they compare and contrast what you're doing. Okay, so don't ever think you're too good to get fired, or I used to think like like that, but never think that you're too good to get fired, because you could get fired at any time. But I do want to make you guys mindful, make you guys aware that if you get fired, whether they accept your apology, they accept you back or not, I do want you guys to be very, very, very proactive in going into that building, checking things out, okay? Making sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. Check in sometime. Pick up the phone if you're not gonna drive in. I like to see their faces. I like for them to see me, okay? Again, guys, all of this is the psychology of dealing with people, right? It's the psychology. I want you guys to pick up this book or get the audio book. It's the Human, Robert Greene, The Human Laws. The Human Laws, I think that's the name of it. It's got an orange cover with like blue on it. I think it's called Human Laws by Robert Greene. Pick that book up. It's very paramount, okay? And it talks a lot about what I'm doing. I was doing this before I started reading the book. But again, it's very paramount. You guys, you're in the people business. It's the psychology of dealing with people. when they know and feel that aura from you that you really, really care about their facility, really care about their home, care about their well-being. You come in, you show up, you speak. Hey, such and such. Hey, hi, how are you? Nice to see you. How's your family? How's your kid? Things like that to keep you in that contract for a long time. For a long time. But a lot of you are more pushed back. A lot of you, they say, well, Fabio, I don't want to, they haven't called me, so I'm assuming everything. Assumptions won't get you where you need to be. Okay? So again, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let this video go. Again, if you need to follow up and see, you got some clients, you haven't seen them in a while, you haven't spoken to them in a while, doesn't mean anything isn't going on. You just have to reach out to them, because if they reach out to you, it might be critical. It might be over for you. It might have you out of there. So again, once a quarter, I would suggest you to reach out to all of your clients. I don't care where they're located, reach out to them. And again, if you need coaching, guys, I talk about this and much, much more in the coaching. My goal for the coaching is to help you get from point A to point Z, okay, in the course of 365 days. You also have free unlimited lead generation, 6 months, so take advantage of that. Also, I have, that's for $1,000. You email me at HOLLYWOODJanitorialServe@gmail.com, HOLLYWOODJanitorialServe@gmail.com. Enter, sign me up in the subject line, or we can do the FaceTime coaching. Okay, you put FaceTime coaching in the subject line, that's $200. The 12-month coaching is $1,000. You'll love me and you'll thank me later. I'm Fabio Hart, the only person that could ever stop you from starting up your own dreams and making it to the top. It's you. Take care.